When you are beginning your research, compiled sources are a great place to begin. But it's important to be aware of the pros and cons for using these types of sources. Come with me and I will explain why you should use these records, but use them with caution. Hi, thanks for coming. I am Mari Stotz-Pratt and I'm a professional genealogist. And today I want to share with you what a compiled source is and some of the pros and cons of using compiled sources in your research. A compiled source is a source that was created from information from other sources. Some examples of compiled sources include online family trees, family websites, published family histories, articles or case studies, city directories, and even genealogy discussion boards and forums can be considered compiled sources. Let's talk about some of the pros and cons of using compiled sources. Starting with the pros first, compiled sources can include lots of information, especially if you are looking at a family history book like this one for my husband's ancestors. It includes biographical information for hundreds of individuals. It also includes an index, which can help you locate information for an ancestor quickly. Compiled sources can give you information for not only your direct line ancestors, but also collateral lines as well. Compiled sources make it easy to start your preliminary survey or your pre-research research. They often include the work and knowledge of several individuals who have been working on the same family, so you get different stories and perspectives. If you find your family published in a professional journal, you can be sure that the information has been verified and you don't need to duplicate those research efforts. The Family Search family tree is considered a compiled source because you have thousands of people working on this wiki tree. This makes it easy to find other relatives with whom you can collaborate and share information. But compiled sources aren't perfect. Keep in mind the cons when working with compiled sources. The main one being that compiled sources aren't always correct. Just because it is published doesn't mean it's proven. And this can be said especially of family histories that have been self-published, as well as family trees that have been published online. This misinformation, if not researched, can lead a genealogist far down the wrong path. Always ask, what is the original source for this information? If the compiled source does not have citations, you will need to research the information before accepting it as truth. Even if there are citations, check to see that they are complete. Every citation should have enough information to help you find the original record from which the information was collected. Keep this in mind as you write your own source citations. Another thing to keep in mind is that compiled sources aren't always complete sources. They may be missing children or spouses or other information. This is important to remember because not everyone likes revealing the skeletons in their family closets for all to see. You may discover illegitimate children or ugly divorces are not included in some compiled sources. We talked about how good indexes can be with compiled records, but they can also be a bad thing if they're incomplete. If you check an index and find that your ancestor isn't listed, it doesn't mean that they aren't in the compiled source at all. It means that they weren't indexed in the compiled source. These types of records can be brief or they can be quite long. You might have to read through it before you can conclusively state that your ancestor wasn't in the record. One of my pet peeves on Ancestry is finding a member family tree that has sources attached, only to find that the source is another person's ancestry family tree. This is how errors get duplicated and perpetuated. Don't cite someone else's family tree as the source for yours. You can cite the same original or derivative records that they cite, but don't cite the entire family tree. The key here is that compiled sources are an excellent place to start your research, but don't accept any information that you have not evaluated the sources from which it was created. Please subscribe, like, and share this video, and share in the comments below any questions you have about compiled sources or how they've helped you in your own family history research. Happy discovering!